Good evening, and thank you all for coming today. Global warming or climate change, call it what you would like, but I'm here to tell you today that not only is it a very real problem, it is also not something that is going to go away anytime soon. It is up to us as individuals to say yes, climate change is real, and what can we do to slow its progression? Now, I can see some of those eyes rolling in the audience, and you're on the fence or you're in opposition in the existence of climate change. Hopefully, some of the facts I present to you today will be enlightening and soften your stance on the issue. Some of the topics that we will cover will include the evidence for climate change, the causes for it, and the long-term effects. Let's begin by talking about the evidence for climate change. According to NASA, across the scientific community, 97% of climatologists agree that climate warming is most likely a result of human activities and not natural causes. I know what some of you are saying. There has experienced multiple ice ages, so obviously we have been down this path before. Well, yes and no. Yes, we've had a couple ice ages due to small variations in the Earth's orbit over time. The difference between now and then is the pace at which warming is occurring. So what does global warming look like? Well, sea level rise is one of the most visible cues. According to NASA, over the past decade, sea levels have risen over 3 inches. There's also increased global temperatures. Not only is it's not just it's not just hotter. The global surface temperature has been steadily rising over the past 50 years. Average surface temperatures is up by more than 1 degree Fahrenheit. That might not seem like a big deal, but over the next 50 to 100 years, that will compound. The oceans themselves are also heating up by almost 0.3 of a degree since 1969. One of the biggest visual cues can be seen in the retreating ice sheets in Greenland and Antarctica. Between 2002 and 2006, Greenland and Antarctica lost, on average, 36 to 60 cubic miles of ice per year. And with record temperatures, we have seen an increase in extreme weather events such as hurricanes and tropical storms. So, we have seen the evidence for climate change. What exactly caused it in the first place? According to NASA, most climate scientists agree that the main cause of climate change is humanity's role in expanding the greenhouse effect. As we continue to burn fossil fuels, such as coal, oil, and the release of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, will continue to exacerbate the greenhouse effect. Other gases which have combined with CO2 in the ozone layer are methane from landfills, agricultural complexes, and from all things livestock. Cows produce a lot of methane, apparently. Nitrous oxide is also a contributing factor from soil cultivation, fertilizers, and again, our usage of fossil fuels. So what will the long-term effects be if we don't make a serious effort in pursuing green energy such as wind, water, and solar power? Well, the Earth will continue to warm, which will in turn lead to water evaporation and less precipitation. California has been going through a historic drought, and so is Texas. The greenhouse effect will continue to strengthen, causing the oceans to warm further, leading to the further sea level rise and ice sheet melting, such as what happened in Greenland and Antarctica. Due to the rising temperatures, climate patterns might change, and areas where crops used to be fruitful may no longer be so. So, in conclusion, today we have talked about the evidence for climate change, such as the rising sea levels, which are projected to rise 1 to 4 feet by 2100, the causes of global warming due to the increased emissions which have strengthened the greenhouse effect, and we have talked about some of the long-term effects, which will be including droughts, ice sheet melting, and changing climate patterns. While the effects of global warming might be subtle currently, if we don't curtail our carbon emissions and seek alternative forms of energy, such as wind, solar, and water, our children's children will live in a much different world. So let us take it upon ourselves to present the earth and preserve it for our children that we all know and love. Good night and good luck.